Ahoy there, chummers, and welcome to another Shadowrun RPG review. And today we are going to take a look at one of my favorite source books from Second Edition Shadowrun. Let's be honest. Most of the Shadowrun source books in Second Edition are some of my favorites, but this one is definitely probably. I don't know if it's my second favorite, but I would definitely put it in like the top three source books, and that is the source book for Aztlan, which I've been told by Google is how you pronounce this name. I've been pronouncing it incorrectly since I was a kid. So, anyway, which is the source book for Mexico in the Sixth World. So, for anybody who has absolutely no idea what has gone on with Mexico, Mexico is essentially ruled by the corporation as technology. In fact, in Aztlan, the government and the corporation are one in the same. As technology, of course, is the corporation that Shadowrunners love to hate, mainly because they take an extremely lethal approach with regards to their countermeasures for a lot of their facilities. And they are just downright evil bastards. So if you want to get something that's close to a true antagonist in the game of Shadowrun, as technology is going to be about as close as you're going to get for something like that. So with that being said, let's take a look at the Aztlan sourcebook. So what this book is going to do is it is going to essentially go through the current situation in Aztlan. So around this time in Shadowrun, there's essentially been a civil war in Aztlan with indigenous forces in the Yucatan Peninsula basically fighting against the government oppression and as technology corporate goons as well. So the first part of this source book is going to talk a little bit about that civil war that's going on right now. So, and of course you have it, the whole source book is done up as a Shadowland BBS post. Now you also, in addition to the normal flavor text you get, you also have this flavor text as well. So this source book actually has some of the immortals in the game of Shadowrun, going through this document as well, and kind of interjecting with their comments and feelings and that sort of thing in it as well. So you've got the Big D, which is of course going to be Dunkelzahn. Before this took place before he was assassinated. You've got Hecate, who is the Amazonian Great Worm, I believe. The Laughing Man, of course, is Harlequin. Lady of the Court and Wordsmith, I believe those are tier elves. I don't remember exactly who they are. Jungle Cat, I don't remember Jungle Cat either. Maybe I'm getting Jungle Cat and Hecate mixed up. Somebody is from Amazonia. It's been a while since I've actually read this book, but somebody is from Amazonia. Basically, representatives of all the immortal powers of the Sixth World are present in this book, and they give their commentary in addition to the normal commentary that they give. So you get this first section right here talking about the civil war that's going on. The crossed out as the rebel uprising, and I believe, if I remember correctly, like I said, this has been a long time since I've read this book, but if I remember correctly, this part of the book is done as a news report from an Aztlan reporter. Which is how you get like the redactions and things like that, because it's the corporate government going through the document and correcting things to make and sanitizing the report to make it palatable for the masses in Aztlan. So it gives you a little bit of insight as to what's going on currently, and then it also goes into the history of Az Technology as a corporation, which also dovetails into the history of Mexico as well. So the first part of history is going to be the history of Mexico, very, very brief history. It's going to talk about a little bit of Mexico pre-21st century. Again, not a whole lot into that because this is not a history textbook. It's a source book for an RPG game, but it does give a little bit of a background as to why things are the way they are today. And then, of course, it talks about Aztechnology as a corporation, the history of Aztechnology, how it was founded out of the cartels and the ORO corporation as well, what they're like today, and just a little bit of a background as to their military capabilities and business practices and interests and that sort of thing as well. Then you get into the religion and magic section. And this section is interesting because it talks about shamanistic magic and different totems and really stuff that is specific to Aztlan, stuff that you're not going to find really outside of that country. But it also talks about magic and the Catholic Church in Mexico, as well as the relationship of the Catholic Church to the government of Aztlan as well. Spoiler alert, it's not great. If I remember correctly, the Catholic Church is actually one of the parties kind of fomenting revolution and egging on the rebels in the Civil War in the Yucatan as well. But the most interesting part of this section is where it talks about Aztlan-specific magic. So this is where, if I can turn to page 97 in my virtual document. Well, not quite. By the way, you've also got full-color art in this source book, like you do in most second edition source books, and it is, of course, awesome. Like, absolutely awesome. As always. We'll just kind of scroll through this section really quick here. Just kind of bask in the glory. Okay, so this section talks about magic specifically with relation to Aztlan and Mesoamerican beliefs and Mesoamerican shamanistic traditions as well. Talks about different totems that you'll find in Aztlan. You know, you got the standard totems, eagle, snake, wolf, coyote, etc., but there's also specific totems that you'll find in Aztlan that have very much relate to the Mesoamerican culture that the country that's been intertwined with the country since it was founded. So you have specific ones like the plumed serpent, jaguar, puma, and that sort of thing. But then it also goes into blood magic, which of course is very, very, very specific to Aztechnology. They are one of the foremost practitioners of blood magic in the Sixth World. And blood magic, essentially, for those of you who do not know what it is it's essentially magic powered by blood and sacrifice. So you have a mage or a shaman essentially using blood to boost their magical abilities, whether it's and the more blood you use, the more of a boost you get. So, if you slice your palm with a knife, you can use that blood to power your spell, and you'll get a little bit of juice, a little bit of extra juice in whatever magic you're slinging around. If you slit the throat of a slave next to you, that's going to give you, and use that blood and use that energy to power your spell as they're bleeding out and dying next to you. That's going to give you an even bigger boost to your magical ability and allow you to sling some truly horrific spells. And this is one of the things that just, it makes Aztechnology so cool, and it makes them a great villain. Blood magic, it's this mysterious force that's kind of talked about in the shadows. No one really understands how it works. It's not encountered very often. Like, if you go into an Aztechnology, you go on a run against Aztechnology, you're not always going to encounter blood magic. But if you go, if you're hitting like an Az Technology subsidiary. You're probably not going to encounter very much blood magic. Now, if you go into Az Technology proper, like into their arcology in Seattle or something like that, you have a very high chance of encountering somebody using blood magic, and that can definitely ruin your day. So this is just a cool section that gives you a little bit of background on blood magic and how it's used and that sort of thing. And again, it's just this book is just really cool. It does a great job of, like all of the source books in Shadowrun Second Edition do. It does a great job of building a world, of making Aztlan into a living, breathing location. Like you could actually see when you're reading the history of Aztlan, when you're reading the history of Az Technology and how those two intertwine and become linked, you could actually see that happening in the modern world. And you can probably actually see that happening with some countries as we speak in real time. I mean, we're probably getting very close to the point where a corporation will control a country in the same way that Az Technology controls Aztlan. So it's just a really cool book, and the artwork in it is of course phenomenal, as most of the second edition artwork was. So, bottom line, should you get the Aztlan source book? Yes. Absolutely, 100%. I've said that for everything. I will attach a caveat onto this, though. If you are not going to run a game set in Aztlan, you're going to find the use of the source book is going to be limited. This is very much, you'll get a lot out of it with regards to Az Technology, so it's not going to be completely useless, but this source book is more useful if you're running an actual game set in Aztlan. It goes into a lot of detail as to day-to-day life in Aztlan, particularly in Tenochtitlan, the capital of Aztlan. It goes into a lot of detail as to what you can experience in that city, what you can expect, what kind of runs you can go on, exchange rates and all of that good stuff. So if you are running a game that's set in Aztlan, whether it's in Tenochtitlan, whether it's in the Yucatan or wherever, or even if you're just taking a little jaunt down to Aztlan in your current game, you will find this book very, very useful. If you're not planning on doing any of that, or you're not really planning on using Az Technology in any of your games, which, why wouldn't you? But that's just me. If you're not planning on using that material, yes, this book is still a good buy. It's going to give you a lot of interesting background material and just kind of, again, it's going to help build your setting and make it feel like your game is set in an actual living, breathing world. Plus, it's just great. It's just great to have as a source book, just to read. Honestly, I have this book. I've had it for a long time. I have never run a game set in Aztlan, but I've still gotten a fair amount of use out of the book because I've used blood magic in my games. I've used Az Technology frequently in my games as well. So this has given me a lot of good information with that. But again, it's just a great read. It's very interesting to see a corporate-controlled country and how that operates in the Sixth World. So yes, definitely get this book, and I will leave some links to Drive-Thru RPG in the description below if you want to go take a look at it, or you maybe see if you can find this book on eBay as well. I'm not sure what the price is on this sort of source book would be. I can't imagine it would be that much. There's not really too many Shadowrun source books out there that are going to be extremely expensive. So I would say probably $20 on Amazon maybe, if you want to do that. And Drive-Thru RPG is going to be cheaper than that if you just want the PDF copy. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and leave this video right here. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Have you used the Aztlan sourcebook in your games? Let me know how you've used it and how well it worked for you. And I will see you. Also, forgot. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell as well so you will always know whenever I upload a video. And I will see you all next time. And that's the chip truth, chummers. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for more Shadowrun content. Hit that notification bell so you will always know when I upload a brand new Shadowrun video, and until next time, remember to shoot straight and never, ever deal with a dragon.